Georgia, thank you so much for joining me this morning.
Hi, good morning.
Congratulations on the film, Strictly Confidential.
Thank
Uh,
you.
Very stressful film at times. Uh, Explain it to us a little bit of what audiences are going to get into.
Sure, yeah. So it follows a haunted young woman who is trying to come to terms with some very tragic events, and she's drawn into this world of duplicity and sex and betrayal, and things just get more and more uh complicated the more it feels like she's getting closer to the truth. So it's a real roller coaster of a film.
And Mia, of course, is she's really plays the best friend of this of the person who passed away. And she in her heart feels that something is not right being who she is. Tell me about developing that character for yourself and really putting yourself in that state of mind, really of grief and a little bit despair, and at the same time a little detective.
Yeah, for sure. I think, well, I think it's so easy to relate to that idea, right? I was imagining, um, my dear friend, if I was in that situation and I'd lost a close friend of mine, you would be in that stage of disbelief. I think that would be a natural, I feels like that would be a natural first sort of feeling. And so sort of drawing on that, and um I'm no stranger to a mental health struggle. So I think using things in your past that have been tough, tough at times can be hard, but it's having experiences to draw on. You sort of pull from everywhere, I think, with roles that need it.
Yeah, and there's a lot about it that I mean obviously we can't talk about it or else we we
Yeah, I
will
know.
pull one string and it's gonna unravel the the
Right? Gotta be
entire thing.
careful.
So actually, what I do want to ask you, this is Damien Harley's first um feature, and so tell me a little bit about working with him and his first feature film.
Working with Damien was actually a very special experience, because not only do I think he's incredibly talented, and I think he's a brilliant writer and a brilliant director, but we became really close friends on this film as well. So it's really special to me. I think it's phenomenal that it's his first feature. He works in a way that he thinks about every shot so artistically, and I love that. You can tell he's really thought about just making everything sort of, just think you could pause the film anywhere and it would look absolutely stunning, and you could sort of paint that scene. And I love that. I love when you can see that someone's really thinking about the artistry of what they're doing.
Yeah, it looks beautiful. I mean, and with that, then I guess we can move on. What was it like, filming the Caribbean? Because it was just it looked beautiful. I know it was only what 2.5 weeks maybe of shooting that you guys had.
Yeah, 18 days, yeah. It was quick. But what a location to be in for those 18 days. I mean, it was absolutely phenomenal. I'd never been to the Caribbean before. And to be able to work there was a real blessing. Worst places to be. Not complaining. It was stunning. And I think it really adds to the film, as there's sort of this undertone in the movie of not quite really knowing what's going on and what's true and what's not. The fact that where we were filming looked so beautiful, it could have been, like, you sort of in some points, did you think, is it AI? Like, is it real? I think that really marries well together.
Yeah, yeah, but the thing that kind of struck me a bit is you guys do a very good job at really each character carrying a lot of weight to the point where where the background almost served as, yeah, we're in this beautiful paradise, but nobody cares because there's so much going on in each of the characters' head that you're not really enjoying all this lavish lifestyle that is presented around you.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, there's so much happening. I think that they're very much living in their own worlds, and not exactly there for a lovely tropical getaway. No.
And I think one of the things I really liked was the pacing of kind of unraveling characters, but the thing about it was it made me think of the idea, like, I couldn't really blame them too much also because when you're carrying that kind of grief with you, maybe your decision making just becomes a little bit more sporadic, and you maybe you may get with a person maybe you wouldn't get, or you make a decision that you wouldn't do, all in the context of protecting a lie, a truth, something in between. Um, Tell me a little bit about that.
I think absolutely when we're consumed by um such a strong emotion like grief, I think your perceptions of things probably can go a bit fuzzy. And it can be difficult to think clearly about things. And so, it's sort of hard because they've all some of the characters have made interesting choices. I'm trying not to give anything away. Some of the characters have made interesting choices. Um but and to be, well, no, I can't say it, I'm gonna ruin something. But who I think definitely there's something to be said for when you are in a place of grief. I'm sure that it is hard to think clearly.
I know I'm doing the same thing, kind of trying to talk about it, not talk about it. I
Yeah.
mean, we know what kind of movie we're getting into, but the journey is actually quite fun. Also, it also seems very complicated, but turns out very simple, and I think that audiences are going to be surprised at how simple it is. Am I? Uh, yeah, let's leave it there. Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's just so many twists before we learn the truth. So I mean, I hope it keeps people guessing. It kept me guessing. I had no idea what was coming when I was reading it. So I'm really excited for people to see it.
Nice. What was it? No, let's not go there. Yeah, I mean, the whole point, of course, for us is for people to enjoy the film and to give a little bit of extra context. How was the camaraderie? Because obviously, if you guys are all in the Caribbean together, you guys are all probably staying very close together. Are you guys hanging out after set? What was the chemistry like?
I mean, it was very intense days. We only had 18 days to film it. So it was pretty quick, but we would have dinners together when we all like would try and, sort of, if the day's finished and it aligned that we could have a meal together and spend time, then we would, because we really lucked out with this cast. Obviously, the people you work with in any profession can really change the feeling of something. And gosh, we got so lucky. Like, everyone is such a gem on this film. And I always you get nervous, going to meet a new cast, and gosh, didn't need to be at all. Yeah, they were really beautiful people.
Georgia, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me. I
Thank
enjoyed your
you.
performance on the film. It did have quite a few twists and turns that I hope audiences will enjoy, and so I hope to talk to you again soon.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thanks, you too.
Thank you.